have got the team here for dessert. The planetrugby.com's team of the round. We wanted to go through that and just give a few thoughts, maybe a few alternates as well, fellas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
Let's start at fullback, back three. So we had Willie Jordan was at fullback, obviously played only 55 metres. He beat 5 defenders. We've already gone through his stats. He was very, very good in his 55 minutes. I thought that was pretty fair. I thought he was exceptional. No one immediately came to my mind as better. There were some other good games. I thought Jorgo had a good game for the Tars as well, but probably nowhere near the same class.
No, I think he's your man. There's no one that can argue that.
Macca Springer, they had named at number 14. Again, I thought he was really, really good. I thought Lockie Anderson scored a couple of good tries, but probably didn't offer a huge amount outside of just a couple of finishes. I thought Amoni Narawa was my pick. I just thought he was easily the strongest in contact, creating his own tries. But Macca Springer, a pretty reasonable option. Anyone else for you?
No, mate. It was Narawa. 8 tackle busts, his little chip and chases, turnover 1. Clean line break. The guy was offering different things around the paddock. Macca Springer was quick and finishing some things, but no, I think it was a better performance from Narawa. Pushed himself forward for All Blacks call-up.
Yep. They had on the left wing Julian Sevilla because of the big moment from him. But I just don't know. I feel like Julian Sevilla was outshone defensively pretty significantly in this game. He did score 2 tries, of course, but just you can't have those strengths and those weaknesses and still be the top pick. For me, I thought Ravatal Mata was exceptional for the Fijian and Drua. So he was the guy that I had.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's probably a number of names in the back three if we're being lenient on who you can pick if they didn't matter if they played fullback, because I think Tommy Wright played better, Sean Stevenson played better, Gilbert had glimpses where he's better, Fainganuku looked better, Monty Ioane I think was probably the better choice if we're picking the wing specific. He was really well involved in that game as well. Andrew Kellaway played really well. So it feels funny to have Julian Sevilla there when all those guys played really well.
I mean, you look at their blurbs and every single one's like, he scored 2 tries, therefore it's him. You know, so I do wonder that maybe the person writing it this week didn't actually watch any of the games and just picked them on tries, but we'll push on. Centre pairing, they went ALB at inside centre. Obviously, 100th game for him, so a bit of a landmark. He scored that nice try, kind of finishing off an offload and breaking through, and made 11 tackles and a turnover as well. So he was solid, but there was someone better, mate. Come on, one of you boys can drop it in.
So is this over Rona?
No, this is over Anton Leonard-Brown, sorry.
Okay, yeah. Look, Thomas Ogerman Jensen was better. I think Fekete was better. Probably the Romanian Rumbler was up there, if not better than him.
Havili was better.
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck probably was better.
Yeah, I didn't think Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was better. I thought he had one good involvement, but he was pretty quiet. But I think there was a lot of talent there. For me, Fekete was excellent. I think he was probably the pick of the bunch. I don't see how ALB got there other than having been his 100th game and scoring a try. Outside centre, they had Daniel Rona. And now, again, we've said how good we think he is. He did score a couple of tries, set up another one as well with an absolutely beautiful chip. I think you can definitely name him as the option. But Youssefa Marcy, surely he's got to be in there. They didn't even give him a mention.
Youssefa Marcy.
Was it Marcy off the bench?
No.
Or was he on the wing? He was on the wing.
No, he was at outside centre, wasn't he?
Yeah, right. I got it wrong then. Yeah, right.
I'll also throw out Leva Almua. He looked very solid yet again. Len Ikatau looks like he's grown an inch or two and was really pivotal for them in a close match. But Daniel Rona was very good.
Yeah. Well, he's pushing on to the 9-10. Noah, they had 10 Noah Alessio. Now, we've already talked about this. First of all, Damien McKenzie was ridiculous. And secondly, we even had him losing the head-to-head battle against Carter Gordon.
Look, I would give it to Damien McKenzie or Carter Gordon. Damien McKenzie statistically was definitely the best. Carter Gordon, his left or right pass to set up one of those tries, the physicality he had. I think he stopped the Rebels, probably losing the ball 4 or 5 times, but after making the pass, following up and blowing over and securing the ball. So for me, I'd actually like to give it to Carter Gordon because his involvements were things that you don't normally see from the 10, but it was things that got the Rebels to stay in touch in that game right the way through it.
Yeah, I like to give participation awards as well, Nels, but it goes to Damien McKenzie.
Hey, look at the blokes around him. He's got blokes helping him out.
I had Gordon, mate. I had Gordon first. Damien McKenzie roaming loose and playing exceptionally well. But as a 10, first receiver controlling the game, I thought he was exceptional. Brady Weber obviously finished a brilliant try, including just an outrageous run through the middle to actually do it. Other than that, I'm not sure that I saw him do that much. I thought he was okay around the park, but that one brilliant moment. Were there any 9s that stood out to you guys, or was Brad Weber the obvious choice?
Look, I think he made 17 tackles as well, so he was heavily involved in that game. You had Jake Gordon play relatively well, McDermott play relatively well, but maybe it is Weber.
Weber. I think it's Weber.
Yeah. And guys, to the forward pack, if we go to the front, Ethan de Groot at loose head prop, All Blacks. The All Blacks prop that we already talked about is a weapon. Did score a try and made 10 tackles as well. No one else?
No, I think that's a pretty good shout.
That's solid, yeah.
Yeah, Brody McAllister. I mean, I feel like he's easy, isn't he? Hat-trick of tries.
Yeah.
What else do you need to do?
Pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, George Dyer, tight head prop, has been playing well, scrummages very well. Also managed to score a try and made his 7 tackles. I think it's hard to argue with all the front row together.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
What about Harry Johnson-Holmes scoring a try, making lots of tackles, actually securing the ball, getting a few turnovers? It's Harry Johnson-Holmes for me. I think he showed more around the back.
How many tackles for HJH?
Let me double check for you. So he had 13 tackles.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it to him then.
Offload, try. It was him.
Hard to disagree with that. That's very good. A couple of turnovers he won as well. How good's that?
And they were actually very good.
Yep. They had Tupou Vai'i at the number 4 jersey, 16 tackles, which is pretty big. And James Tucker in the number 5 jersey for the 2 second rowers, 15 tackles for him against Moana Pacifica, and he had a nice run in there as well. Anything else, guys? Any other options from you?
Should we do a cheeky and sneak into Lani Seal?
I don't think you can, no.
It's good. The only other one is maybe Sam Darry. He had a very good game for the Blues in this one.
Yeah, I had Darry over Tucker. I thought Tucker was good, but Darry was influential through the whole match. Obviously managed to score a good try again. Just he's very good at that pick and go. Seems to manage to get over the line a lot. Tupou Vai'i, I think, is a good option there.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish it off. Loose forwards. They had Akira at 6. What did he do? 15 carries, 1 try.
He was huge. He was huge.
I think he set up another 12 tackles, winning the turnover. His direct competition was Rob Valentini. I don't know if you can pick them both.
I don't know if you can, but I would in my team, if I'm brutally honest. And Josh Kemeny actually had a cracker for them for the Rebels as well. But no, I think he sits slightly behind those other two. Just give Ioane and Valentini 8 and 6 for me.
Yeah, I would, mate. I don't think, they named Artie Severe at 8, and I just don't think he had his biggest game by any stretch of the imagination. So I feel like that was a bit of a hand me.
It wasn't only not his biggest game; it was probably his quietest game we've seen in a
he was average as he was very quiet.
Very quiet.
I mean, even him playing Paul is still pretty exceptional. But I got to say, I thought Hardwick was pretty bloody good in that first half for the Rebels as well, but maybe didn't sustain it for 80 minutes.
Yeah, he was very good. You also had Grace, Renton. Jacobson actually stood up and did some parts where he looked pretty solid. Darren Alangi off the bench. He was very, very good. For me, Sevilla's probably about the 7th or 8th choice.
Yeah. And lastly, guys, the coveted number 7 jersey somehow went to Jerome Brown, who scored 2 tries off a rolling maul. He did make 16 tackles and a turnover, and they've also mentioned Duplessis Karifi. Again, I'm not sure what's brought that on. Can I give you my option to lead right off?
Yes.
Mate, I want to give it out to Carlo Tizzano, who made 26 tackles and a couple of turnovers against the Crusaders.
Wow.
Jeez, he has made an average of 24 tackles in his only 2 matches this year coming back in.
It's ridiculous, mate. How is he not your 7th for the week? Like, he's ridiculous.
Because they're looking at the tries column, mate. The other ones are Fraser McWright, Billy Harmon, and you could add a stretch Richard Hardwick because he's shifted across to there. Those 3 were far better than Jerome Brown. Jerome Brown held the ball and didn't pass it to the number 8 in a driving maul and made quite a few tackles. But that
Billy Harmon made a line break, 2 defenders beaten, a couple of turnovers, 15 tackles from his 16 attempts as well. Like, there's some very, very good options there. I don't rate this like just give to the blokes that scored a try no matter how it happened.
Harry McWright got 4 turnovers. He threw 3 offloads. He ran 68 metres. He had a line break. It wasn't his best game. He didn't make as many tackles. He made 9 tackles, but he only missed 1. There's plenty of guys I think you could have put there above Jerome Brown, but I do like Jerome Brown, and it was good to see him back.
Yeah, so we'll go 50-50, 50 reasonable, 50 they're losing their minds. I like it. All right, fellas. Look, I think we need to give the last word to the super sub on his 13th cap, more than Noel Alessio. He's earned him, and it's been a long wait. So I'll say goodbye. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. Watch us on YouTube, wherever else you like. Nelson, anything before we leave it over to the super sub?
No, mate. I want to see more of players saying each other's names and looking confused at the camera. But I preferred that maybe he said, someone else said this on Twitter, he could have looked at the camera, done the same arm movements and said, "Are you not entertained?" And that would have been even better.
Very good. Super sub.
No, just obviously thank you very much for having me on, lads. It's been a pleasure, and I think I've learned more from you guys than actually what I spoke about. So that was good. And a wise man's once said, just say nothing. So I'll keep it that way. And thanks very much for having a good crack with you, lads.
Thanks to come on, mate. We need to get you on more and have less of Cargie.
And thank you very much for Big Craigs this week. I'll take that every single week. And there's something coming in the mail, Craigs. Have a good look, mate.
Very good. We'll get Craigs to give that report. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, boys.